Join Cindy and I on one of our adventures during our great ride of 2013, Westward Ho! Take scene one.
Hi, and welcome to the very tip top of Pikes Peak. We're at elevation 14,110 feet, and my heart's beating really fast.
How did we get here, Cindy?
Ooh, we rode our motorcycle, and now we have to ride down. Wish us luck.
US 24 westward from Colorado Springs to the town of Cascade starts the journey up to Pikes Peak. As we turn left, we get onto Fountain Avenue, and after a few moments, Fountain Avenue splits off to the right, and the Pikes Peak Highway starts to the left. The road conditions up the top?
We plowed it all the way up to the top. There's a little bit of slush up there in spots. They are still clearing that away for you guys, but just know if you beat them too quickly, you might hit it. So just be careful.
All right.
All right, but it is clear all the way to the top.
Great, thank you.
Do you guys want...
The first 10 miles or so of the highway are pretty much like what we have here in the southeast, for example, North Georgia mountains. Relatively easy curves and grades, and maybe a couple of other easy switchbacks until you go past Glen Cove Inn. Shortly past Glen Cove Inn, the grade steepens and the switchbacks emerge, and at times become quite tight between mile markers 14 and 16. Temperature at the base of the mountain we left was in the 80s. By the time we got to the top, into the exposed area, with the wind chill, temperatures dropped down into the 30s and was quite, at times, quite bitingly cold. We were pleased that the road surface was in really good shape. The slush had melted off. Spots of dampness and wet from the snowmelt run on occasion. But all in all, a very, very good road going all the way to Peak. As we reach the summit parking area and go over the crest, asphalt disappears, and now all of a sudden you have a packed, relatively fine gravel area. It was quite wet in spots on the side, slush and ice, and it took us a few minutes to find a place that was out of the way and comfortable to park. Still cold when I ride up the latter part of the mountain in the exposed area with the wind blowing. We keep our helmets on for a little while longer for the warmth that they provide. After which we walk over towards the summit house. Nearby is the National Forest Service's marker for the summit. This is probably one of the most filmed points on the peak. In the late 1800s, Catherine Lee Bates, a professor, visited the peak and was inspired in part for the poem America the Beautiful. Mark, quite surprised to get 4G coverage on the side facing Colorado Springs, gets a moment to send off a Facebook Places message. Inside the summit house is a gift shop, a small restaurant, well, let's call it a snack bar, and a first aid station. By the way, the air up here at 14,000 feet is fairly thin, and one of the items that you must be cognizant of is that the thin air means you have less oxygen, and so the first aid station is equipped with oxygen for those that need it. We enjoyed a nice cup of hot chocolate before getting ready to head back to our bike and down the mountain. Having spent no more than 2 hours at the summit, arriving with almost clear skies, as we leave, the cumulus cloud buildup had started to form and very thickly, and with the threat of afternoon thundershowers, we wanted to get down off of Pikes Peak well before then. And sure enough, not too long after we had gotten off of Pikes Peak and headed back towards Pueblo, the skies behind us opened up with rain showers. the last handful of miles leading up to the toll gate went by very, very quickly. As we passed through the toll gate, the two motorcyclists we had been following pulled over to the right-hand side. We followed suit and had a brief chat. I'd like to thank Josh Woodward, the musician who provides the instrumental background music for many of my little videos. He does this under the Creative Commons license. Thank you, Josh.